All right. Good morning. It's another day and another dollar. Another day, another dollar. If this goes above 1550, I'm going to go ahead and just get out and see where it goes from there. See where it goes from there, guys. So, welcome to the live stream for those of you who are coming in today. It's another day. I went ahead, as you can see, and went short on Codex. I think somewhere in this area. Anyway, it's just kind of been bouncing around a little. I'm still expecting a breakdown, but it is kind of getting to the place where if it begins running up, I may take it. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to take it at 1550. If it breaks 1550, that seems pretty significant. Um, and then just see what happens from there. I drew this trend line here based on the hourly chart. This is the hourly chart right here. This is the 60-minute chart. And you can even see at the end of the last 60 minutes, it closed below all, these moving averages. It's sitting below pretty much all of them except for obviously the 100-day and the 200-day. But yeah, and maybe I'll just wait to get out if it breaks 1620. I'm fine taking a $100 loss on it if I have to. But I borrowed 400 shares for shorting, and I'm seeing this. I mean, this is a pretty big story that it's telling here. I mean, we basically have rejected this trend line. We couldn't even make it all the way up. And then look at this. Look at this flush. You can tell that this was a strong breaking of an hourly trend line with just how hard it flushed down. And it's like it's kind of trying to make its way up, but it looks like it's going to roll over and at least test these levels. Now, yesterday I was looking at a potential head and shoulders pattern, and I was looking for this shoulder to come down and test the neckline and see a breakthrough. Now it's not really looking so much like a head and shoulders. I guess to some degree, I guess it still kind of is, but I don't think most traders are going to be identifying it as such. So even though I am looking for a retest down here, I don't know for sure that even if it came down here, that breaking through here would cause any kind of momentum to the downside. One thing to note is that CODX was highlighted on the Zach's Analyst blog along with mRNA and INO. And they're expecting pretty good results from these companies, even as far as earnings and growth in the next quarter. So, just with everything going on with the coronavirus, that's the big news there. So it is possible that you'll have a lot of people coming in here to buy this stock up today. And it's also possible that it'll get a drop, and then people will come in when it's at a better price and start buying it up. Investors might start coming in. But I got to tell you, it's going to be difficult to figure out which direction that this is going to go out the gates. Now, because of the news, this is another reason why I think that even if it comes down here to $11, it may not break. It may not break. It may just start getting bought up. And this could go through the roof today, honestly. So, I don't know. We're going to keep a watch on it. We're going to keep a watch on it. INO is another one that I got in on, or that, excuse me, I have not gotten in on it, but I did borrow 1,000 shares for shorting. Now, you know that we trade a conservative trading strategy here with, smaller share size and that sort of thing. But here's the thing: on a $5 stock, especially if you can identify clear areas of, where a good solid stop would be, 10 cents away, 20 cents away. I can afford to lose, $100, $200 to see if this trade works out and attempts to make, three, four, $500. I'm willing to risk that. That keeps me at, close to a 2-to-1, if not better than a 2-to-1 profit loss ratio. And even with 1,000 shares on a $5 stock, I mean, it requires $5,000 buying power. I mean, you can have a loaded account, $1,500 account with Capital Markets Elite Group, and you'd be able to afford that. And without even using all of your buying power. So I would still consider taking 1,000 shares on a stock like this that's moving like this. I would consider that conservative. Now, this is just pre-market talk. This is if I were to get in here at pre-market. Now, once the opening bell, once the 9:30 kicks in and these stocks are moving super fast, no, I do not recommend taking 1,000 shares, even though it is only a $5 stock. But what I would recommend is having 1,000 shares available to short, and maybe starting to scale in with 200 shares at a time. So, for example, if this starts coming up, well, I'll tell you what, if it comes up quick enough out the gates and break, I would want to see if it's going to break this level, because we have a daily high here at 595, and that would be a critical area of breakout. That would be a critical area of breakout. Especially since it lines up kind of with this over here, and there's these points of resistance. But here's the thing: if it started struggling around there, I mean, what you could do, okay, let me kind of pause and go back. If it were to come back, and good, quick fingers, good point. Wait, quick fingers. Do you have a YouTube channel? That name looks very familiar. Quick Fingers Luke. I know has a 96 million float. Yeah, and that's the other thing. So you do have to kind of wonder how quickly this is going to move. Yep. Yeah, man, I think I was watching some of your stuff like a couple years back, man, with did you used to do stuff with like cryptocurrency and Coinigy? Did you have a Coinigy account? If that's you, then you're the man. You taught me a lot back in the day, man. You taught me a lot. Well, I say back in the day, but a couple years ago. Most of my stuff is crypto. Yeah. Well, I actually started in crypto. And did really well with that 2017 bull run. But yeah, quick fingers, man. Well, hey, this is an honor. This is really an honor, man. I watched several of your videos. You had really good dollar cost averaging strategies that you implemented in your trades. I do remember that. And oops, hold on. I'm getting an alert on Codex. Hold on a second. Got my little alert box here. So I kind of wanted to add, let's see here, 50. May add just another 100. I've got a total of 400 shares to short on this. So, I think I'd be willing to do it at this point. So I'm in 200 at 1475 average. I am going to be looking for the break of 1425, and I'll probably get out if it retraces all the way back up past this previous candle. So let's look for the break of 1425, and I will consider adding again closer to 14. Let's see. I really want to get this break here. I think we can get a solid breakdown, and then the next would be 1343. So we're doing all right on this. Give me 1 second, Luke. I see you commenting. Give me 1 second here. I want to try to stay. Let's see. This is good pre-market action, and we did break it. Now it would be very likely to have a false break and then a move back up. But if we keep moving, like I said, down to 14. I'm going to add another 100 shares. We'll have a 300 average at probably around 14, maybe 1450, somewhere around there. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get in. So 300 shares, yeah, 1450. Let's see if we can pull down to 1351, and I will start taking profit at 1360. I'll take the first 100 off there. It was a quick pop up. See if we get the break here. Do not want this to run against me. I may have to pull out a little just to make sure. Okay. Let me give this a minute. I don't know how much it would recover after that. That was a pretty big sell-off. But the thing is if it starts finding support around these areas, it could curl back around. So I'm gonna give it a minute. I know this is gonna put me a little underwater here for a second, but just in case this is a temporary short squeeze, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put an order out at 1425 just to see if I can capture some profit there in case there's a quick snapback to the 25 mark. And if it looks like it's going to go back up, I'll just it's got a pretty big order there on the bid. I think we should be able to at least get a quick little flush down to 1425, and then I might unload some of my position after that. Just depending. I mean, if we see another quick flush down, then obviously, but that's going to be the key for this. I want to see it move quick. So, Luke, 14 years full-time trading penny stocks mostly. Okay. And, and I think I do recall some of that, some of the penny stock trading. Sorry to take you off track. Please don't let me distract you. Oh, no. That's all right, man. No, this is really cool. This is really cool that you're in the live stream today. I actually literally just started this channel like 2-3 weeks ago, and I've really wanted to come into this space to kind of be a voice of reason. You got so many of these high profile day trading gurus out there that are pushing, they're pushing solid strategies, and I don't. I always feel like I have to say this when I say day trading guru. I don't mean that in a demeaning context. I don't bring that in a slanderous way. I think these guys are very, very solid traders. I think they're very good at what they do. They obviously have very well developed strategies, but they come in trading pretty big share size, and they have a lot of followers, a lot of viewers who watch them, and I think it just gives people some real unrealistic expectations for when they are first coming into the markets, and what they can expect from day trading, and what kind of profits that they can expect out of the gates. And it's a little difficult for these guys because I think, they've got obviously, smaller accounts. And you and I both know that when you get into day trading, and especially when you're not some seasoned veteran who's been doing it for 10, 15 plus years, it's a little more difficult. And when you don't have, tons of money acting as a cushion, it's even more difficult. And obviously the psychology, the type of trader psychology that you're dealing with, the psychological patterns and behaviors are just a little bit different. So this is why I'm kind of in this space right now, just to kind of teach that, you don't need some huge account size. You don't have to use, take 1,000 share lots. You don't have to use all these, massive share sizes to come into the markets and to be reasonably profitable, for day trading. So that's just kind of what I'm doing here right now, and hoping to prove that, or at least demonstrate that to people who are coming into this space and who would seriously like to be able to make a living day trading. Because as you and I both know, and I don't even know if you're still in here, Luke, but if you are, I think as you and I both know, it is possible, but you have to be smart about it. And if you come in here with a solid strategy, a disciplined strategy, and a reasonable approach, while taking, again, a healthy, reasonable share size, I think number one, that allows you to. So you are still here. So I think that allows you to let the stock breathe. When you come in here with 1,000 shares and it goes against you 40 cents, I mean, you're like, oh crap, I'm down $400. Like, what if this moves against me? You start second guessing yourself. Whereas if you come in that same place with just 200 shares and it moves 40 cents against you, okay, well, we're only down $80. Let's see how this plays out, because I know I had a good trade idea, and I feel like I can tolerate the move on this a little bit more. And then if you do have to stop out, it's not such a massive loss. If it does eventually move against you, whatever, or if your dollar cost averaging strategy seems to be just, if it continues to move against you, you can get out and still take a reasonable loss. So obviously you agree. But yeah, it's exciting for me to have you in here right now. Again, anybody who's in the chat right now, we've got Quick Fingers Luke. He's got a great YouTube channel. Go check him out sometime. Well, I don't know if you're still doing it, Luke, but I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot from this guy when I first came in. So let's see here. I'm still willing to let the pre-market action play out on this a little bit. I mean, I think, again, when you break down to the longer time frames, well, technically you could look at this on the hourly as almost a double bottom. But I don't know. I think I would like to see if this can still play out. I'm gonna be patient with it. I mean, if I have to get out, I think if it comes over 15, let me see here. Yeah, because I mean, across the board, we're facing some pretty solid areas of, that could be considered previous areas of resistance here. So if it came over 1490, I'd probably look to get out. I mean, the thing is we are getting close to the opening bell. And this is not something that I want to be in on when the volatility kicks in. I mean, we could get some massive spike all the way up here. I mean, with slippage and everything, it might not even take my order out till the 1530. So what I'm going to do is in these next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to try to see if this can play out. I'm going to see if we can continue to get resolution to the downside. And if we can't, if it continues to teeter around these levels, I'll probably go ahead and get out just so that I can kind of reset my position once the volatility kicks in. I'm also going to move this buy at 25. I'm going to move that maybe to 35. The thing is if we get a push down past these levels at 25, then we're probably going to break further down through and at least test 14 again. So again, for those of you who are just coming in, so yeah, we were talking about INO. I did secure 1,000 shares for shorting here. I'm gonna see how it plays out the gate. I don't think I'm gonna take that full 1,000 shares at one time. I may very well try a dollar cost averaging strategy. But again, there's great news on these three stocks right here: CODX. And it did just take my order, so I'm up 65, but I've got a 200 shares at a 14.25 average. So I want to see a continued move down for sure from here. And if we can't get it, if we start going up towards 14.74, I'll probably end up getting out. May even behoove me to offload. No, I'm going to be patient with it. I'm going to be patient with it. I mean, we're up on the week. Yesterday, We ended the day over $700, and technically I even ended a little bit over that. I didn't post. I had already posted a recap video, but I actually captured a pretty good trade after I posted the recap video, and I actually pushed over 800 yesterday. So I mean, so we're fine right now. We're up on the week. I'm going to give this a little room to breathe here. But like I said, if it does get close to the opening bell and we're not seeing any major resolution to the downside, I'm definitely going to stop out, or I'll at least I'll put in a lower stop than I probably normally would. But anyway, let's see here. Quick fingers. In penny stocks, I make anywhere from 200 to 1,000 a day each day, and I've been doing that for many, many years. I trade a lot of other things also, but pennies have always been my bread and butter. Yeah, your point is consistent money, even small, like 500 a day, and you're golden. It's all you need to be making a huge income. 10 minutes to market them. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I agree as well. And pardon my voice, guys. My son, I've got an 8-month-old here, and my wife and I have been dealing with that. He was sick last week, and I think I caught a little of what he had over the weekend, so my voice is a little raspy right now. But yeah, coming back to your point, quick fingers. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, don't get greedy with it. I mean, I think, for coming in and being able to work from home and doing something that you love doing, and just kind of being your own boss. Yeah, I mean, what more do you need? $500 a day, it's great. And I mean, I know it's kind of relative. Everybody's got different goals, and some days I come in here and I only make $150, $300. Some days I come in here and I lose money, but other days I come in here, make $700-800, sometimes 1,000. So it's yeah, I mean, obviously if you've got a good strategy and you're sticking to it and you're sticking to your rules and everything, and as long as you're making sure that your wins outweigh your losses, then you're golden, like you said. So INO does seem to be losing its lunch. I still want to see where it plays out. I have to remind myself oftentimes, like, just because I got in, just because I located and borrowed 1,000 shares doesn't mean I have to use it. A lot of times you feel pressure to use it, and it's like that, so traders will often just jump in and just use it just to use it. and that is not smart. That is not smart. I feel like this. I mean, I located, how much? It wasn't even a lot. It was like $7 or something like that. Let's see. Yep, $7. So it was $7. So I look at it like this: if I don't see a good opportunity, I'm not going to take it. If I lose $7 on INO from the borrowing the shares for shorting, then I lose $7. I'm fine with that. So mRNA is another one we'll be watching. These stocks are the very fast moving liquid stocks. mRNA is a little more tricky. This is one you have to really be careful with. I mean, it really is a tricky stock, and you can easily get caught in the choppiness. But these are the moves right here that I'm looking for. These moves, these subtle moves right here. I'm just, I'm looking to take a solid enough position for the move down. But this daily chart is so choppy. I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know. I wonder if this is just going to be kind of a chop fest until we either get a breakout or a breakdown. But I am keeping it on watch. American Airlines lost a lot of, and I don't know. I would have to open up my trading view chart here to probably see the full scale or the full history on that. Actually, I'm going to do that. I've got it in another window here. Let me type in American Airlines. Let's see. Okay, so we are basically bouncing off of 2013 lows, as you can see here on American Airlines. We are basically at 2013 lows. Or no, sorry. Yeah, 2013. So I think there's enough room to move up. I'm not typically a long bias trader, but this is a stock that I would be willing to possibly take a small long position on. So that's why I've got that on watch. Tesla is, Tesla is making a pretty solid recovery, but I'm thinking that this is kind of the perfect area for it to start pulling back a little. And talk about trading with conservative share size. If you go back and look at some of my videos from last week, there was one video where I took 20 shares short on Tesla, made like over $400. And another day I took 10 shares short and I made almost $200. It doesn't take much, guys. It doesn't take much at all. Plus, this is a fast moving stock. It moves, $2, $3, $4 at a time. And so you do want to be careful with it. But even on the 5-minute chart here, I mean, this does look like a good area for, for us to get some pullback on it. So I'm going to be watching Tesla as well for that. And obviously we've got our eyes here on the S&P 500. This is the daily chart. I've marked out some key levels here, and I don't know if you guys can really see, with the stream. I don't know how good quality the stream is, but we basically have a level at 310 and then 311.69. So, and I think it's 310.10. Yeah, basically, if it breaks out of the pre-market highs, obviously it's already broken above the previous day close. So, but I still feel like we're not necessarily out of the weeds with the S&P 500. And so, and just with the markets in general, I think it's possible we could get a pullback, maybe at least to the 200-day moving average today. But, we may continue to rally up. We may continue to rally up and test the 100-day and some of these other previous areas of, we had actually, as a matter of fact, let me see here. And we got 2 minutes to the opening bell, by the way. Well, yeah, these were basically the areas that we were looking to test early on for the initial drop. So here's the thing. I'm going to be very cautious today. I want to make sure that I've got my eye on the S&P 500. Let's go back to Codex. What's this looking like? Okay, this is just kind of whipping around. So I'm going to see if I can unload real quick. 100 shares at 45. See if we can get, and then I'm going to put a stop. Okay, there we go. So we're 70 on the day there. I am going to put a stop. So again, by the way, for those of you just now joining us, I've got this marked out on the hourly. And you can see when this hourly trend line was broken, just the flush that occurred here. So it is possible for it to come all the way up here, I think, and retest these levels. I don't think I want to remain in my position for that, especially since, I'm kind of starting a little up on the day here. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put a stop at 15. If this gets over 15, 1401, maybe I'll put it at 1475. That'll at least probably put me break even. I know this is probably a little sloppy on my part, but again, I don't want to go into the market open with any crazy action. So I will look for the break of 14. I may add again. Okay, let's see if we can get this. It's looking good. I'll see if I can get it. See if I can get filled. If it runs against me, I'll just... It's holding the line, guys. I don't know. It's holding the line. There we go. Solid break. Solid break. May go ahead and let's see. We need to break 50. We really need to break 50. If not, I'm going to get out half my shares. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take half off. Look for a break of 50. May get a retest up here. On the 5 minute, 14.17 is above VWAP, so I would say I would want to take it at 14.20. I would even do 14, the break of 14.15. Break of VWAP, we'll say buy stop. Okay, so I'm going to let those ride out. I need to see what's happening over here on INO, mRNA, AAL. Okay, it's getting a retest. SPY is pulling. So that may be why this is pulling. Okay, and we're obviously out on CODX right now. Tesla's pulling. See what JD's doing. This may be good for a... I'm going to go ahead and take 200 shares short here. If it recovers 87, I'll take it. 43.87. Stop, buy. This was another one I was looking at, guys, and I meant to talk about this. AMD's another one. AMD is butting up right here up against the 50-day moving average. And it's possible, especially if the SPY keeps pulling, it's possible that we may see some momentum to the downside. See what's happening on the... Okay, a lot of wicks. I may take a 300 or 400 share short position here. See if it can. Ooh, missed that move. It's a good solid move. Not going to chase it. Not going to chase it, guys. SPY's pulling. Trade is working out on JD. American Airlines. Still looking for a long here, maybe at the test of some of these levels, but I kind of need to wait and see what's happening with the SPY. Obviously, if the SPY's pulling, TVIX is probably doing pretty well. Take a look at Roku. Roku's pulling. Yeah, everything's following the SPY right now, guys. So this is one that was on the charts yesterday. I just kind of wanted to keep it on watch to see if it can make any significant moves. AHPI was another one. It's going into a halt right now. Locate. Oh, I would not get 1,000 of that, by the way. Let's see. Probably get 200. Locate. $12. JD. See what's happening here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come out half my position here. So we got out 100 shares there. We're going to let the rest run, see if we can make a significant pullback down to these levels here, the 42.50 area. Be nice to make another $100 on that last 100 shares. Look at this. I mean, here's the thing. I'm angry right now. I wish I had jumped in on some of these, but I did. I really, honestly, I didn't think it was going to pull that hard out the gate. But again, we're looking at the SPY. The SPY is pulling, and I told you it's very possible we're going to get a retest back to the 200-day moving average, and that very well may be what's happening right now. But I'm going to proceed with caution. I'm going to proceed with caution in a lot of this because, truthfully. And this I like. That's a failed breakout right there. Really like that. Let's look at it on the 5-minute. INO is looking good. CODX was never able to recover the 9 EMA. That's good. INO shooting up. I may be good to take a position right here. I'm going to take a 400 share short position here as it's butting up against the 9 EMA. If we get a breakout, actually I may let it ride up to 531. So, but I really want to see a break through VWAP and a resolution to the downside. I think a breaking of 494 would be good. But yeah, if it breaks 9 EMA, well, it's really not if it breaks 9 EMA, it's if it closes above the 9 EMA. I'm fine if it breaks it. Right now it's getting slammed back down. Let's look at this on the 1-minute chart, 2-minute chart. We could be forming let's see here. So you know what? Just in case it starts popping up, I'm going to reduce share size. I might be able to average back in. Let's see. Yeah, if it comes back up to 15, yeah, okay. I'm going to reduce down to 200 shares, because if we get a run up and a retest up here, 5-minute closes out in a minute and a half, and I would look for it to break 9 EMA but maybe false breakout and then still close below 9 EMA and then start heading down. So, but I want to see if that happens first. JD, we're getting that move down. I think what I'll go ahead and do on JD is partial out another 50 shares. So we've made 74 on JD. We're currently holding 50 shares on that. Let's go back to INO. Okay, so we got 50 seconds to see if INO gets that rejection off the 9 EMA. But if it breaks above it, I'm automatically going to get out, and then I'll just see wherever it retests. So, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with taking a loss if I have to. So on the 1 minute, as you can see, we're working on a the trend line is. This is we want to see a break of this. We want to see a confluence of not just a break of really all these moving averages and the VWAP, but also this trend line. That'll be the critical part of the confluence. Okay, so we are at 5 minutes, and it didn't close above it, but what I'm curious about is this a false breakout? But if we move up towards the 30 levels, actually I'm gonna set a hard stop at 30. Stop, and I'll actually set it at 31. Stop by. So if we lose on this, we lose on this. But if it starts breaking through, I'll add to my position at the break of 5. Excuse me. Okay, JD might be making a recovery. Still give it a chance. It's going to break 31. It's not doing it. Not yet, anyway. We've got a pretty huge order on the ask, though, so that's somewhat of a bullish signal. But it's flat. It was flashing, so it could just be market manipulation. There we go. Oh man, if this eats through this, let's see if bears can hold the line. This is why I put my stop at 31, because a lot of times it can eat into it can eat into the whole cent mark, I should say, the whole cent. 30 is a good whole number, 40 is a good whole number, but really more so just because it's over here. It would not just be eating through the 30, but it would be breaking this this previous 5-minute high. So, but as it was eating into the 30s there, it would have taken me out. So I like to put 1 cent above, just to be safe. And you can see on the 15-minute, this is the next big move we're looking for. What I would like to see is this to get smashed back down and this actually close below VWAP on the 15-minute. Again, part of a really good solid strategy is making sure that you are using the longer time frames. You want to take advantage of longer time frames because they tell a little bit better of a story than these shorter time frames. Shorter time frames are a lot more whippy. There's a lot more moving back and forth. But when you kind of zoom out and slow down what's happening on the charts, it oftentimes helps you to make a little bit better of a decision. So again, we want to see a break of all these moving averages and the trend line and VWAP. I mean, what a very bearish signal that would be. So we'll see if we can hold the line. AAL made a brief recovery. American Airlines, let's see, mRNA. This is what I was talking about with mRNA. It's choppy. I mean, look at this. Comes down and then all the way back up here. You made almost a whole dollar move right there. It's just, you got to be careful with mRNA. CODX. If you remember, we drew this pattern on the hourly time frame. See where it's at on the 15-minute. Still closing above VWAP, but rejecting off the 9 EMA. So we'll see if we've got about a minute left in this 15-minute period, and we'll see if we can get a close below VWAP on that. INO is looking strong. It looks like it's about to retest 30, so we may get stopped out here, which is fine. I mean, we'll take about a $30, $35 loss. I'm okay with that. Let's see here. It's like, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to see. I don't want to watch my own death. It's like watching your own death. Like sitting here watching this break over that is like watching yourself die. Not gonna do. Not interested in that. Not interested in that at all. Tesla seems like it's making a recovery, but I don't think it is. I still think I think we can move down here, especially if the SPY keeps pulling down towards that moving average. I may actually get in at the test of these levels up here, 800. Although, you know what? This would be a good, if we were doing an EMA, 9 EMA strategy, that would actually be a good spot. Okay, we're getting a break on that trend line. Let's look at the 2 and the 1 minute. Not quite, not quite. Looks like a break, but not quite. This is why I always go down to the 2 and the 1 minute, because, I don't like to use them as major points of trading, but you know, again, you're looking here on the 5 minute, and it's almost looking like, and of course the trend lines. This is the thing about using light speed charting. It's not. It's a little wonky. You know, technically that should be right there. Excuse me, but it still looks like a break. You know, but anyway, the 1 minute is where we defined it, so we'll leave it there. We want to see a break of that, and a break of that VWAP, and I will consider adding to my position. Also, would like to see a close on the 5 minute there. Buy volume has definitely died off majorly, so sell volume's coming into the market right now. So I think I would feel good about adding there. So we're in 400 with a 508 average. See if we can get a move down and a break of 484. I may even add there. See what's happening here. Okay. So we had a clear break of the trend line. By the time I hit my hotkeys, I did get in, yes, at a little worse position than I wanted, but I initially talked about hitting it at the $5 mark anyway, so it's not, you know, it is what it is. I'm fine with that. If we get another retest of the 5 minute mark, I think I may throw in another 200 shares. Try to build a 600 share position on this. JD looks like it's still moving down. I was going for the 4250 areas. It may still get down there. We'll see. We'll see. Keeping my eye on I and O. Okay, we had a close below VWAP on the 2 minute also, so that's good. We broke all moving averages, trend line closed below on the 1 and 2 minute. Now we just need to make sure that this happens on the 5 minute. We want to close below VWAP, moving averages, and at the very least, we want to close below that trend line. So so here's where we form the if-then statements. If on the 5 minute chart it closes above VWAP or above the trend line, then I will remove half of my position again. I will remove 200 of my 400 shares. If it closes below VWAP and this trend line and these major moving averages, and excuse me, comes down to $500, I will load up with another 200 shares in my position. So that's the story. We got 50 seconds to find out how this works out. Excuse me, guys. I'm terribly sorry for the cough. I know that nobody wants to hear that. I'll try to remember to mute myself when I'm doing that. Okay, we got about 30 seconds left. Now there is a delay on the live stream, so you guys can be looking for this yourself at the appropriate time. Okay, so 15 seconds left. 15 seconds left to see if we can close below VWAP and that moving average. So okay, well we close below the moving average, or we close below the 9 EMA and the trend line. Sorry, we want to see an immediate breakdown here. If we do, if we see a breakdown to 5, I will add once again to my position. If we get a pullback above the 9 EMA, I will add to my position. I will only get out of this position now if it breaks back through that trend line. Okay. All right, there's a struggle. There is a struggle on this right now. So I am trying to keep in mind also that this is a 90 million share float. It moves a little slower. I'm going to exit half of my position there. So I've got 200 shares at 501. I will look to add back to it at either the break of 5 or a pullback to the trend line. JD looks like it might be exhausted right now, and so I'm going to go ahead and get out my position there. So we're up currently $186 on the day. Not the best day, guys, but you know we're moving there. Codex looks like it could be resolving. Again, I want to be careful with it. You know, like I said earlier, it's got pretty good news on it. If you read the Zacks Analyst blog highlight, it's listed right up there with mRNA and INO pharmaceuticals, and it's you know it's. I would just be careful with this one today. I would be careful. I want to see some definite resolution to the downside before really getting back in it. Now, mind you, this is the good thing about having a conservative trading strategy, because we're talking 100 shares. So, I mean, worst case scenario, actually, with how this is going, now the more that I think about it, the more that I talk about it, sometimes it's good to talk to yourself while you're trading, by the way. Just talk to yourself out loud. I mean, it has broken through, you know, if it closes below this VWAP on the 15-minute, I mean, why not take 100 shares? Why not? Because, I mean, it's got so much room to move down here. You could get a $2, $3, $4 move off of 100 shares. So that's a good profit to loss ratio. Let's go back on INO. INO is proving to go hit more to the downside. Let's see if we can break 5. See if we can break 5. If we see selling on the 5 again, I'll take it. I'll take it. And if we retrace, I'll pull it off. Pull it off and wait for another add-in. So right now we're retracing. It's holding the line. It's holding the line. But I don't know, guys. I really would like to see a pullback to that 9 EMA and see if we get a rejection there. It'd be a great place to add. Really would be a good place to add. Sell volumes kicking in. Volume is something you constantly want to watch. Volume is everything. It's like if you're running, you know, if you're running a marathon and you want to keep yourself on pace, you know, constantly having your watch there in front of you to check the time, to make sure that you're moving at the pace that you want and that you're going to complete the race or the marathon at the time that you want. It's clutch to have that on you. Volume is like that. You should constantly be looking at your volume. Excuse me. Volume tells a pretty significant story. Even right now, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, well, on the 15-minute, it had major buy up. On this next 15-minute, you know, it's not, there's not a lot of volume. Yes, it's mostly sell volume, but it's just, there's not a lot. You know, and here you can see sell volume's decreasing. So if this breaks and maintains above the 9 EMA, Um, and so now, you know, we're looking at this trend line again. And of course, I think this is probably another trend line that needs to be taken into consideration. So again, this is a good place to add. I want to make sure that it struggles here. I want to make sure that it doesn't break out and, you know, to where it's going to close above this. And obviously, if it starts breaking through this trend line, I just want to see what happens in this 5-minute period. I'm also going to break it down to the 1 minute and the 2 minute and see if there's anything significant happening here. Let's look at some of these other stocks, Codex. Yeah, Codex is whippy. Probably because you have people coming in that are, you know, buying around those areas. It's going to be hard to, you know, really smash the price down. mRNA. AAL. So this might actually be a good spot to get in. SPY is sitting on the 200-day moving average. So I think I would be comfortable taking, I really do. I think I'd be comfortable taking a long here. I think I'd be comfortable taking a long. I'm going to get in just with a couple hundred shares there. And I'll wait for a pullback to average back in. And then obviously, if it breaks down past 1885, I'll look to get out. But what I would be looking for is at least a move up to here to test VWAP and the EMA. And I might even get out there. I might even just take a quick $40 scalp on this just to see if it can test it, wait for a pullback, and if it looks strong, I'll get in it again to see if we can get a final break through the VWAP. So okay, so we're going to look for a pullback to roughly these levels right here. I got in at 1903. I think I'd be willing to get in another let's do another 200 at 1888. Do another 200. Okay, so as you can see, we're kind of getting a bounce off of that trend line there. And it looks very much like that this could close below that 9 EMA. I want to wait for it to close. Before I add, I want to wait for it to close, and I want it to be a sure close. This is where it gets tricky, guys. When it starts doing all this, and you're kind of, you know, you're not sure. But if it keeps pushing and breaks out, okay, so it closed above the 9 EMA. I want to see an immediate flush down. If it comes above 23, I've got to get out. So that's what I'm going to do. So 525, we'll say stop. I'll even give it to 26. Let's see. Well, 23. Yeah. I'm going to say 25. Stop by at 25. So there's that. American Airlines is breaking up through. Wow, SPY. What is happening with SPY? SPY is getting bought up. We're breaking up past this on the 15-minute. I don't know. I may wow. Okay, this is ridiculous. Guys, look at this. Look at this on the 5-minute. This is the S&P 500. Look at this junk, man. This is, man, what a buy up. At first I thought that's a spike. That's got to be a spike. What is that? Okay, obviously there's some kind of news that hit. Warren Buffett can't resist this bargain as he buys amid coronavirus correction. That hit an hour ago. Could that be it? Who knows? Ooh, INO. Got me out. Oh well. I stuck to my rules, guys. That's all you can do. You got to stick to your rules. Do you Jared asks, do you trade a basket of stocks you like, or do you use a scanner for current movers? Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, I guess kind of a little of both. Hold on a second, Jared. I am going to answer that question. Looks like we're making a brilliant recovery here, so I need to start looking at where I want to come out the first bit of that position. And I might even wait for a pullback and add. But I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off half on the ask. Oh, accident. Okay, so I took half off. I took half on the bid. All right. Jared, I am going to answer your question. Give me one more second. Let me just kind of assess what's happening here and look and try to formulate a good trade idea about where I would add on a pullback with American Airlines. You know what? I'm going to let this, if the S&P 500 continues to, look at this. Look at these levels that I marked out earlier. I mean, it's blowing up through it all, and it's coming up to test the 100-day. It's very possible that American Airlines could keep pushing. It could keep pushing, and we could get a really nice move all the way up to these levels today, at least $22. I mean, I can make another $100, $200 on just holding that 100 shares. But if there's a good place to add, I definitely want to capitalize on that. Fed cut rates. Nice, Jared. You know what? You would think that something as simple as that I would have detected. I've got my maybe I just need to refresh. I was gonna say I've got my headlines up here on TradingView, but why is that not? Why did that not pop up? Let's see. 10 minutes ago, suspends employee. For some reason, I am not. I need to look into this because I am not receiving any of those headlines. So appreciate the input though, Jared. Again, I am going to answer your question. I really want to. I need to watch this for a minute. And actually, as a matter of fact, let me take a look at a few of these other ones here. So, INO is still technically getting a rejection there. 25. You know what? I'm going to go in with another 400 shares. And because this looks like this is going to make a move down. Okay, so we got in at 14. This looks like this could be that final move down. 525 is where I would want to get out. Really, I'd probably want to get out if it came back over 20. And what I'm going to do is take the first 200 shares off at 504 just to get into a little bit of profit there, just in case this does move back against me. And I'm going to stop out 200 at 520. KAAL, make it a massive move back. This might be a great place to add. Where are we on the, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and add here. So I've got 200 now at 1916. Still looking for a move up on American Airlines. Where's the previous day close? 905. So I will look to add one more time at 905. And if I have to give back some of these profits, then I have to give them back. So really, I would do it probably 1906. I would maybe buy another 200 shares. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Make sure of that. Okay, I'll put out an order. And then we'll stop below the break of 19. So stop, sell those shares. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to move that off now. So just because we came down, we touched here. I should have just taken them there. I hesitated. We want to see a break back above all these major moving averages. We want to see a break back above VWAP. And I want to see a continued move up here and a retest and a breakout of 1980. If we come below 1905, I'm going to stop out. Let me see if that's accurate. Yeah. I'll give it room. I'll give it room to breathe. I'll give it room to breathe. So 1916, I'll give it room to breathe. It's got to break 19. Or let's see. Well, hold on. Well, with a recovery like that, no, I'm going to put it back at 905. This is the thing, guys, about trading. I hope people who are watching, your story will constantly change. Okay? Your story will constantly change, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your story changing. Your trade ideas evolve as they go, and they evolve based upon the information that you're given here. Okay? So here, perfect example. I was saying to myself when the stock had only retraced like this much that I'm going to set my stop for the break of 19 because I was going to give it a chance to come down here, break through 905, tap 19, and then start coming back up. But because it retraced all the way back up to VWAP and now it's doing this whole reversal thing here, now I know that if it breaks this level here, there's a much greater possibility of it just flushing down. So I'm going to want to go ahead and get out at that point. And actually, I might even change it again. So, nope, I'll leave it at 904. So that's going to be my stop. Stop, sell, AOL at, or AAL, not AOL, 1904. Okay. INO. Projecting off the trend line. We could be coming down, or we could be developing another trend line here. So this trend line I'm going to go ahead and remove because this obviously was already broken. What we could be looking at right now is this. Sometimes traders will identify the price action based upon where these candles originally closed. If it seems like that those are that trend line, that first trend line is being respected by the closes or the wicks of all the trend line or of all the candles that followed. That's something that I've noticed in doing this. So if this breaks below 507, we should start to finally see a good a good move down. And I'd even be willing to take these shares, those 200 shares, off at, let's see, 502, just to a couple extra bucks, pay for the trade. Yeah, because I think a break of 507, it would just shoot down there. And I might even take off 100 at 502. And then another 100 at 493. AAL seems like it's struggling, but it could just be another pullback. S&P 500 is pulling back right now, so it makes sense. It's pulling back to VWAP. But I'm going to look for a push up through 1935, and I may even add if it does that. I may add if it pushes up through 30, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to go ahead and put in an order to buy, stop by another 200 shares at 1931. INO could just be sitting on this trend line. We want to see a flush down. This is really critical here. This is where we want to see it. And we don't just want to see a flush down, but we want to see a close below this trend line. So Jared, here, I'll try to get to your question now. So Jared, to answer your question, yeah. So I do have stocks that I will generally keep on watch. You'll see a lot of these stocks on here. Like I keep Roku up. Typically, I'll keep Tesla up just because I've learned how these stocks move. A lot of these stocks move. Hold on a second. Well, there it is. It took me out. So I'm going to remove that. Let's go back to INO. A lot of stocks, you'll as you trade the market, there will be stocks that become favorite stocks. And maybe you already know this. Maybe you've been in this long enough to know that. Maybe you're just kind of like, duh, But a lot of times there are stocks that you'll get to know, and you'll want to just kind of keep them on watch just to see if they're going to be making any significant moves that day. And you can always use them for scalping. There's days where Roku isn't always moving that much, but I can use it for scalping because I generally know how Roku moves. And I generally know the good entry and exit points for scalping. So, hold on a second. What did I just do here? INO 400 at 514. Oh, it never took my order. Never took 100 shares off there. So yes, I have a basket of stocks that I like to use for scalping, so to speak. I don't know. I would consider adding. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and unload that first 100. I lost out pretty bad on AOL, or AAL, American Airlines. So I'll see if I can get my 100 share fill right there at 502. Okay, there we go. And I will look for another fill at 491. Actually, let me put that at 492. Let's see where we are in the 5 minute. Yeah, we want to see a significant flush, guys. looks like this is a pretty good move here, pretty solid move. So we're going to get another flush down, take out that other 100. Let's see. There we go. Come on. Feed into the 92s. Let's take off another 100 here. Put us up, back up over 200 on the day. Okay, did we get it? Yep, we got it. So, no, wait a minute. Whoa, what did I do? I think I accidentally, good job, Matt. Good job. Forgot to cancel my other order. That's all right. I'm going to add another, going to add in again. I may wait for a pullback, but I do want to see the break of 84. I think we can make it down to the 1440s, 1450s today. We'll see if there's another place to add. So, Jared, just to continue, I know I'm giving you like the longest answer on the planet, okay? Anyway, I also look at scanners, though. You know, obviously, we want to know what stocks are moving in the market that day. So, yes, I do. It's a combination of both. And so oftentimes, I'll have stocks. And for me, you know, again, this is for a conservative trading strategy. You do want to find stocks that can make some pretty good moves. Like you want stocks that look like they're going to move a few dollars that day because you're taking smaller share size. You're taking smaller share size in a conservative trading strategy. So, you know, just like yesterday, I believe it was APT where I made like $550 on APT, and I did that with 200 shares. Why? Because it moved several dollars. You know, I would average in, you know, I'd start, you know, shorting 50 shares or maybe 100 shares and then add another 50, and then eventually take 50 off here, 50 off there as it's coming down, you know, making those several dollar moves. And so, you know, to make that conservative trading strategy work, you do want to know what the scanners are showing. You do want to know what stocks are going to make some pretty heavy moves that day. And so, you know, and you don't always have to find stocks that are moving a few dollars. I mean, if you're just getting started out and you're just looking to make $50 a day or $100 a day or whatever, you just look for stocks that are moving, 40, 50 cents and take 200 shares on that. Or even 300 shares. I mean, the whole idea is you don't have to take thousands of shares at a time. You don't have to take these big, huge 1,000-share lots. Now, you know, if it's a less pricier, you know, like if it's a penny stock, okay, sure, fine, yeah, you'll probably take 1,000 shares or a couple thousand shares, but the stock is only moving, 5-10 cents at a time, so you can still get out with a pretty good stop. Without risking, losing thousands of dollars. You might lose $100 or something, and then that's fine. But so you want to know what the scanners are saying, and you don't have to own scanners either. That's another part of my conservative trading strategy. You do not have to actually own these scanners. So, and I'll explain more of that here. You may have to remind me, actually. So let me see here. I'm looking at a couple things. Oh, and what's up, Sauger? It's good to see you again today. MITO. I had MITO actually on watch. Let's see here. For some reason, I did not keep it on watch. But yeah, you're right. That's looking like a pretty... Let's see what okay, 200 shares for shorting. We could get some good scalping on this. I'm going to look at the news on this right now because I forget what it said earlier. Definitely want to see some news here. FDA grants rare pediatric disease designation to stealth biotherapeutics for blah, 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 the treatment of Barth syndrome. It's up 130%. 6 million share float. We have over 10 million shares traded on this so far today. Mm, yeah. This could be good for a possible long, but you know what? This could also be good for a possible flush. Holding the pre-market high. Good. Good. That's good. So yeah, and it looks like it bounced very nicely, not just off of VWAP and not just off of this 9 EMA, but right here it found support at pre-market high. That's pretty bullish. That's a very bullish. I mean, we really could get the break of the highs here. Um, I suppose this would be. I suppose this would be a good long. You got to be careful though. This is one of those ones though that could like flush all the way down here without warning. And if it break, I'm telling you right now, if it breaks this level, if it breaks VWAP and breaks this level where it found great support on the pre-market high, you better watch out, man. You better watch out because I think the stock will be completely coming undone after that. But yeah, you might get a break of 450. Whippy stock, whippy stock. American Airlines still looking like it can make a recovery. So this big move that we had on SPY still made a major pullback, even crossed back under VWAP and broke this key area right here of support. So I don't know. I don't know. Might have reacted to the news briefly and then pulled back, and that would be kind of devastating because that would really prove more that the SPY is still weak. So we want to be careful with the SPY right now. We want to be careful. JD made a pretty solid recovery. It's pulling back right now. AMD, same thing. They're all following Daddy SPY right now. For those of you who don't know, I call it Daddy SPY. There are these stocks that they just like they don't have a mind of their own. They just want to know what Daddy's doing. They're gonna follow Daddy around all day long. Whatever Daddy SPY's doing, they're gonna do. So that's my way of picking on these stocks, as though they had feelings and emotions and knew that I was actually picking on them. It's actually this is actually the stuff that could get you locked up in a psychiatric ward, right? But no, you gotta have fun with it, guys. You gotta have fun with this stuff. But I'm careful with it, really, because I mean, look at it. So AMD like up, down, up. Look, JD up, down, up. Tesla up, down, up, and oh wow, why? Because of Daddy SPY up, down, up. So. You got to be careful. Got to be careful. You got to be careful for sure. INO is going to be a slow mover today. I can just tell you that right now. As pointed out by Quick Fingers this morning, Quick Fingers Luke, it's a 90 million share float. They typically move a little slower. It's 90 million share float. You've only had about 24.8 million shares of volume today. And you can see all these little movements. This is the average true range for this stock, You're looking at probably roughly about, 30, 40 cents. So, but it does look like it's resolving to the downside. I don't know if it would break through these levels or not. I think if it did, I think we could get a significant move. But again, it's still kind of thriving off of decent news. So I may just take it here, guys, and be done for the day. I mean, I'll see. mRNA. Sauger says, I'm just watching from sidelines. Made your money for the day. Good. That's good. Healthy perspective there, Sauger. Yeah, this isn't doing anything, so I'm going to remove that. This is really doing nothing. I'm going to remove that. This is, this could break. This could break and come flushing down. Man, what a move that would be. How much to locate even just 100 shares? $8. I mean, because here's what I'm thinking. This is genuinely what I'm thinking. Wait, is this saying three? Okay, 300,000 in volume today. If this continues to get VWAP rejection and ends up falling, man, this is going to fall hard. Man, this is going to fall hard. I'm telling you, it's. But it could just be finding support here. May not fall back down. I'm feeling like it's worth. I'm feeling like it's worth a shot. 36. If it broke 36 and broke 35. I don't know. There's not much action on it. Let's look back at Mito. When you have a chance, can you show how highlighted LULD? I had done it before, but I forgot. Oh, this right here. Honestly, Sagar, this is going to make me sound like a complete total noob, but I don't even remember doing this. Like, I really don't. I can go into here. Let me go. Let me check this out here. Hold on. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Cancel. Hold on. Where is it? Config. Where is the... Where is it? Let me see if I can just find it. Dude, I don't even know where my level 2... This is ridiculous. How do I not know where level 2 is? Man, it's been so long since I've done this. Gear icon on level 2. Let's see. Yeah, no, Oh. Good Lord, man. What this just tells you how little I'm thinking right now. So do you use Lightspeed? You obviously use Lightspeed, or you wouldn't be asking me. Highlights. Okay. Looks like this might be it. This must be it. So you go under highlights, and I guess you just type this in, or you hit all and then type in LULD, maybe right there. Is that no, you type in LULD right here, choose red, all. That should do it. That should do it under highlights. So, all right, I'm not a complete idiot. I can do it. I can be technical. Man, sorry, dude. I don't know what that was about. That was the world's longest brain fart. Literally. I mean, seriously. Let me see here. Yeah, no problem, Sagar. No problem. I'm gonna accept $7 and look into. Thanks, man. Dude, that was literally like an idiot moment. Like I'm like my brain literally slowed down. What's up, Notre Dame? I see you caught that junk too. Man. Okay. I'm telling you, if this comes down and crushes VWAP and crushes that previous area of support, you're going to see a massive flush. I mean, I don't obviously you don't nobody knows that for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and get short 100 shares. Wait. Didn't take it. Why did it not take it? I bought. Let's see, I bought. Okay. I thought I accepted it. Let's see. I was going to take 100 shares. For some reason, it's not allowing me. And I was going to put a stop right above this candle here, which, as we can see, it would probably have stopped me out anyway. So I guess it's good that it didn't work, right? There it goes. There you go for the long. Boy, this might break high of day. VIR is breaking out. Be careful on Mito if you short. It's holding 4 very well. Yeah. Mito took off. Yep. It's good that for some reason that didn't work. Quick fingers. Yeah, let me check out VIR. So, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's why I was kind of questioning it. I was almost kind of waiting for something like this. I don't think it's going to maintain a breakout. I really don't. I mean, so I might be willing to. I might even be willing to get in if it pops up here just to test it. And then, and start with 50 shares. I would start with 50 shares. And then I would probably just get out if it broke trend line and broke this level here. And I'd be risking $50. So let's see what the locates are. Okay, I'm going to locate. And what I'm going to do is, so it's on a short selling restriction. I would almost be willing to start with 25 shares here and start averaging in 25 shares, because if it rejects, well, so much for that, right? 39.67. There we go. So 39.50, then I would probably take the other 25 at 40.50. So for some reason my orders are not. I may have to reset. I'm going to have to reset this, so all right, let's see. All right, hold on, guys. All right, guys, give me 1 second. Okay, this is really weird. So it's telling me that, let's see, the symbol is not shortable. Okay, so why is it, how is this symbol not shortable? Okay. All right, so that's an issue. Okay, guys, we're back. So sorry, I had to figure out some stuff here. So, all right, so I've now purchased 300 shares of Mito, and it's not letting me short it. So I don't know what the deal is, and it's not letting me short this either. I purchased 100 shares, so I need to be reimbursed for that. It's saying I'm getting a message that's saying, you know, symbol's not shortable. You can see down there it says symbol not shortable. So I don't know what the deal is. It's pretty odd, but I am going to be contacting Lightspeed right about now. So I'll contact my guy real quick and see what he says. Sorry guys, just give me a minute. It's gonna be a little boring here for a second. Quickfinger says Mito has only a 6 million float and has already rotated, so could easily squeeze. Be cautious with shorts. Absolutely, absolutely good. Good info, Quickfingers. I still can't believe Quickfingers Luke is in on my YouTube live stream. Oh man, that's this is cool. This is cool. This has been a really cool day. I'm not trying to blow your head up any more than it needs to be, Quickfingers. You already know you're the man when it comes to stock trading. But no, it really is. It's all kidding aside. It's an honor. It's a privilege to have you here with us this morning. For those of you who are just tuning in, Quickfingers is I saw his name pop up this morning, and I was like, Quickfingers, where do I know that? Where do I know that? And this guy, I watched this guy several years ago when I first started getting into trading, and he had a I'm here, but I'm very distracted with my usual penny stuff and some option plays on the spot. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Well, don't let me distract you. Don't and don't feel like you have to, um, you know, respond or reply. It's just cool having you here, and feel free to exit anytime you have to. But yeah, for those of you tuning in right now, Quick Fingers Luke, I watched this guy several years ago when I was first getting into stock trading. I had actually started in with cryptocurrency and was trading that and getting into Bitcoin before it had that massive run up in 2017. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Quick Fingers. He has a really good perspective on technical analysis and even, the various technical indicators out there. So I encourage anybody who's in here right now, check out his channel if you want to get some good tutorials and some really good education. Like I said, there are some things that are involved with or intertwined with my trading strategy nowadays that undoubtedly fundamentally came from watching some of his stuff on YouTube. So let me see here. I am currently in the middle of contacting my broker. Let's see. Sauger, yeah, man. Well, thank you, Quick Fingers, for all of your wonderful, freely given educational tutorials. And I don't know if you have a class or courses that you sell online or whatever as well. I would imagine that they're probably worth every penny, every dollar. So let's see here. We are fighting magic. All right. Nope, I never sell anything. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, then once again, thank you for all the free information over the years. Make all your money off the stock market, Sully. That's good. That's good. I'll tell you what, though, you really, and I'm sure people have told you this before. You could write a book, man, and sell it on Amazon. I'm sure there's a good solid handful of people that would buy it. Not that, and maybe it's just not a desire of yours, and that's, that would be totally understandable. Everybody's got, different goals, different entrepreneurial pursuits. But dude, you could totally do something like that. I have no doubt that people would buy it just because it's, there's a lot of value in your content, and it's definitely worth something. But even just giving it away freely, like I said, to each his own. Any way that you want to do it, man. For me right now, honestly, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I make my money on the stock market. And then I have another job. I work from home and I'm contracted out to a web development company based out of the Raleigh, North Carolina area. And so I do a lot of, I handle a lot of the strategic web marketing, campaign builds for their clients, and as well as consultations for their clients and stuff like that. So this is pretty much how I make my money. I really don't have any intentions on trying to sell courses or trading subscriptions or anything. I'm not going to, never say never, right? I'm not going to say that I wouldn't, just because I'm an entrepreneur at heart and I love embarking on new business ventures and, but I don't know. But this literally just might be something for me to just, come here every day, trade, have fun with it. Because the other side of that is, when you embark on writing a book or, creating courses or running a website, really that is a whole other demand. It's a whole other type of demand of your time, of your energy, your resources. And so, there's a cost of doing business on all fronts. But the good thing about trading in the stock market and just this kind of being your only source of income, or just, your main source of income or whatever, is, you come in for a few hours each morning, and I mean that's it. You're done, and you have the whole rest of your day to devote to family, your wife, your kids, or other passions and pursuits that you have in life. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling at this money or at this at this at this moment. But anyway, yeah. Let me hold on, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and send this email out here to Lightspeed. I'm not sure if you've ever given Bookmap software a try, but I have it on my calendar to try them out at the end of March. Um, so if you're still here live when I do my Bookmap trial, I will give you feedback on whether it might give a clear edge on your type of stocks. It has a really good data feed for Nasdaq's especially. Okay. No, actually, I'm not even familiar with Bookmap software. So Sauger apparently has heard of it, though. Yeah, I haven't even heard of it. I guess that's something I need to research today, look into. Now, so look at this. So I just emailed the broker. Hopefully he'll get back with me about what's going on here. But look at this. That would have been a good ad. 25 shares there. And well, I was looking to add another 25 up here, so I would have never gotten those ads. But right now we'd be sitting with 25 shares, and it could get a rejection, and this could be, the big move down today. I mean, if this moves, this moves $4 on 25 shares, which this has potential to move way more than that. I mean, just depending. But that would even be a nice little increase. So MITO is still whippy. Came back down, touched VWAP, so it's good it didn't break. But yeah, the thing with this, just to kind of add to what Luke was saying, these shares have been passed around heavily, so they're very susceptible to short squeezes, extremely susceptible to short squeezes. But also at the same time, if somebody's got a large portion of these shares in their hand, and they see that, for example, if we make another attempt and we can't break through this, and they see that there's some kind of trend line forming up here, you're looking at a possible massive dump and a massive flush all the way down here, or even further. So obviously, as it happens, it's going to trigger everybody's stop loss orders. I mean, those stop losses will get triggered left and right all the way down. So I mean, those are always the two possible scenarios on this stuff, which is why I think, me personally, I think if you are going to short at this point, and if my broker responds and they activate my 200 shares for shorting, I wouldn't mind starting to get in maybe 100 shares here, maybe even 100 shares here. I now have 300 shares on Mito, so I might be willing to come all the way up here to average in, and then just set a stop here at the break of 450. I might end up losing 75, $100 at that point, but if it bounces and it comes down and it ends up flushing, that could be a very, very, very solid move. At least with scaling out, which I probably would do, I'd probably scale out as it went down and flush, but I'd probably make a good maybe 2 to 250 off of that move, and that's enough to justify it for me. It's like a heat map of level 2. Oh, okay, Sauger, that's what's up, man. That sounds pretty cool. A heat map of level 2. Okay, I definitely need to check this out. Noter says, is that the one with the bubbles, etc.? Helps you determine price direction. Quick fingers. Basically, it has a heat map. Yep, that allows you to figure out what algos might be doing on the ticker you're working. Shows all orders in the book, all the levels, and history of where orders were put and pulled. Okay, that's interesting. Sounds like it could be very, very useful, actually. That reminds me that is it. When it comes to charting, obviously this isn't a level 2 thing, but when it comes to charting, that what's it called? The Ichimoku cloud or something like that. Quick fingers. Like, were you? Was there? Did you do a segment on that? Was that you or was that somebody else? There was the Ichimoku cloud, and does that have a similar type of? I mean, is it a similar type of thing, or is that like from a charting perspective, or is it? Anyway, I don't even know how to. No, not me. Okay, are you familiar with that at all? That indicator. And I think it was the ghosting levels. Yeah, no, it's completely different. Okay. Would love to see a video on it, Matt, and quick fingers. What, the Ichimoku cloud? I don't even know if I'm saying it right, Sauger. I think I got to learn how to pronounce it first before I do a video on it. Quick fingers would probably be more qualified to make a video on that. I would venture to say. You see those fake orders now and then. Yeah, nice that somebody made something to track it. Yeah. I completely second that comment there. Let's see. Never wanted to use the each cloud. It's a slow moving indicator. There was somebody back in the day, I can't remember who was doing it, but they swore by that thing. They swore by that thing, but, I don't know about you, quick fingers, and anybody else who's joining in, part of the conservative trading strategy for me, part of the conservative trading strategy is conservative use of indicators. Matt something, yeah, might have been. But yeah, very conservative use of indicators. And a lot of times I don't even like to, and I'll even pull off the 9 and the 20 EMA. Pretty much my trading strategy, really the main indicators that I look at, obviously you need to be aware of the 9 and the 20 EMA on the shorter time frame charts. But longer time frame charts, you can see here, like on the 15-minute, like I'm pretty much just concerned with VWAP and volume. And then on the daily charts, obviously we'll put the longer like the 200-day, the 100-day simple moving averages. But I'm basically working off of volume and VWAP. I mean, those are really the two biggest indicators. And of course, all of my trading plans are pretty much mapped around areas of support and resistance. And then, of course, I'll use trend lines to confirm the direction as it's moving. So I just try to keep it simple. I don't load the charts down with the relative strength index, the moving average convergence, divergence, the Bollinger Bands, or I'm not constantly pulling out the Fibonacci retracement tools. I really try to keep the charts as clean as possible. Just again, really conservative use of technical indicators. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying that those technical indicators that I mentioned are not good to use. Case in point, relative strength index. I will pull out the relative strength index sometimes on the longer time frames. Like if it looks like a certain pattern is forming on a longer time frame, I think it's good to pull out the relative strength index to see, especially if it's so far off of VWAP and it looks like there could be a rollover or something like that on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, or the hourly chart. I may pull out the relative strength index then, and also I may pull it out on the daily time chart. So I'll use. I think it's I think there's a time and a place for everything. And I know that there are people out there that have some pretty solid working strategies off of, just the like just the Bollinger Bands, for example. I mean, I know there's people out there that swear by Bollinger Bands, but I don't know, man. For me, it seems as though the majority of these indicators, I mean, they're all lagging indicators, basically, and so I think it can just get really confusing sometimes when trying to load down your chart with too many indicators. So again, I do stress a conservative use of those indicators. So Quick Fingers says, I don't use indicators at all. They do help many traders, yeah, but the reason I brought up heat map is because you can see exactly what's on level 2, all levels, and they thicken down. Oh yeah, no, absolutely no. That was not. Excuse me. Let me clarify. That was not a response to the heat map indicator level 2. No, I think that's definitely worthy of checking out. No, I was really more so responding to the Ichimoku cloud. People swear by that stuff. The charting indicators is what I was more in reference to on that point, but. But yeah, the reason why I use volume and VWAP, and really, I mean, if you could call support and resistance actual indicators, really support and resistance are the main key indicators to me of where a price could potentially move when coming up with a trade idea. But VWAP, the volume weighted average price indicator, has really become it's really become a very widely used and a very well respected indicator. I can't tell you how many really solid trades that I have made off of reading the VWAP. Now, it's not everything, and I think we all know that this. I mean, it's not like 100% gospel truth here. Okay, it's not telling. We have to take all of these, I think, at some level with a grain of salt. But I have found that out of all the indicators that people use, out of all of the ones that they actually do mess with, VWAP just seems to be the most stable, I'll say, among those. And of course, a good read on volume is I consider to be a pretty healthy thing as well. Mito broke upside, breaking out. FOMO. Need to watch on the sideline. Agreed. Agreed. Most pros have the VWAP on their chart. Yeah. I think that's safe to say. But you don't need it. I'm with you too, Quick Fingers. As a matter of fact, now that you point that out, I think I remember watching videos of yours where you had stressed the same point about, you don't need all these indicators. And I think I remember watching a video of you actually taking people through price movement on a chart. Maybe it was the Fibonacci retracement tool. and you were like, oh wow, look, this it broke through this. So what do you do there? Okay, well, you say you think it's going to do this. Well, look there, it broke through that. So I think I do remember something. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that was you. So anyway, that might have been one of those little nuggets of knowledge that I took with me through the years that also kind of kept me a little hesitant on the overuse of technical indicators. So yeah, exactly. That was me with the fibs. Yeah, okay. Well, I need to revisit your channel, man, because it's been a while. I need to go check out and see what kinds of content you've created more recently. I have no doubt you've put some pretty good stuff up. Let's see. Sauger says, "How do I know if the float rotated?" I know, dumb questions. No, no question is a dumb question. Let me say that right now out the gate. Let me say that right out the gate, Sauger. No question is a dumb question. Please don't ever think that. Like, look, I've been trading now for, I don't know, 2.5 years. And I have gained a wealth of knowledge in trading, but brother, trust me, there's still some stuff that I don't know that I'm having to ask questions on that are probably seemingly stupid questions to other people out there. So they're as much as I've studied, as much as I've educated myself, and I have bought courses, I have read books, I have sat and watched price action in the stock market from sun up to sundown for days, weeks, months on end. I've talked with other traders out there. I've picked the brains of other people and watched hours upon hours upon hours of video content on YouTube. And I can tell you, with as much as I've gained, and I'm talking like even doing Google searches and reading Investopedia. I've been all up and down Investopedia's website. Great source of information and all. But honestly, like, I'm as much as you think you know in this, like, you still will always find out pretty much on a daily basis that there's a lot you still do not know. Okay, and don't ever be afraid to ask questions, because that's how we learn. That's how we learn. I never want to get to the place. I never want to get to the place where I think I've learned it all, or I think I know it all. And not to be confused with having a certain level of confidence in your strategy. I think it's good to feel like you've nailed down a pretty solid strategy, and you need to stick to that. Okay, and you need to have confidence in that. But when it comes to the amount of information that floods through the stock market on a daily basis, not just from a technical perspective, but from a fundamental perspective as well, I think you need to keep asking questions, and even no matter how dumb they sound. So that's a quick preface there for that. So how do you know if the float rotated? So basically, we know that INO is a 90 million share float. So I'm going to pull it up here on FinViz, actually, and I might bring the FinViz screen down and share it with you. So, oh, excuse me, we're looking at Mito. Sorry. Let's see. I'm going to pull Mito up here. So, look here on FinViz. Okay, this is a great site to go to, by the way. All right, if you go here on FinViz, you can type in any ticker symbol. It'll pop up. It gives you a wealth of information here, and it even shows you any of the latest, news headlines and all of that. But you can look here at you've got the shares outstanding, but then you've got the shares float that are available to trade on the market. And then look down here. It shows you right now it's traded these 6.25 million shares almost 2.5 times, and this isn't even updated. As a matter of fact, excuse me, if you look here on this, I'll just kind of take this out of the way. If you look here on, sorry, I'm having a hard time getting that up. If you look here on the daily, this gives you the most updated, because I don't have a FinViz, like I don't pay for FinViz subscription, so it updates like every, I don't know, 15, 30 minutes, but it's at least a good place where you can go and get some of the technicals. You can find out what the short float percentage is. You can find out what the news headlines are. The news headlines are pretty immediate. So, but here you can see on the daily chart, 17.3 million shares. We've basically run through those 6 million shares almost 3 times. Okay, so does that help explain? It's been handed over multiple times, multiple times. Let's see if my guy has responded. Still has not responded. Look at VIR. Oh, look at this. Where was the 6 million share again? So on FinViz, and you'll see it too on scanners. Scanners will tell you. So these are on this whole chart. Out of all of this information right here, now some of it may be relevant, just based on whether or not you have access to a scanner. Obviously, if you don't have access to a scanner, you can use all of this information to give you pretty much what the scanner would give you. But having access to the scanner, when I'm on here, really the only thing I use FinViz for is the headlines. But here you want to look at the shares available to trade in the market, and you want to look at the volume down here. So this is a 6.2 million share float basically. And then I always look right here at the short float percentage. Sometimes it's good to know how heavy of a sentiment there is on, for the bears in the market. So on any given stock really. So hopefully that helps. Look at this. Check this out. VIR. So yeah, it had the pop up. I tried to add 25 around 39.40, and I was going to wait to add another 25 at 40.40 or 40.50, close to this trend line, to get a 50 average at roughly around 39.90, 30 or 40. And then I was going to look for the flush down. Now we flushed down the VWAP. I don't even know if I would get in at this point. I mean, it does kind of look like it could go, but I so hope that they reimburse me for these 100 shares. I mean, it only cost $8, I think. Yeah, $8.80. But for me to buy those and not even be able to use them, it's pretty ridiculous. You're welcome, Sauger. No problem. You're welcome. So, guys, here's the thing. It's 11 o'clock. I don't think anything in particular is happening here. I'm going to go ahead and take a loss on, or maybe I'll just put another down to 514 and see if it gets me and see if it comes down and buys it back. But it's kind of getting to that place. I mean, I know it's not a very hasn't been a very productive day today. Obviously, haven't really. It's not anything like yesterday. Yesterday made over $700, and last week we had a couple. We had a $700 and some day. We had an $800 day. We had a $430 some day, whatever. So 233. It's not exciting, but you know what? It's something, and something is better than nothing. And we didn't end in the red today. I will keep an eye on the market. 4 trades, 4 wins. That's awesome. That's awesome. Quickfinger says, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's, they're small. I mean, really didn't see the kind of follow through that we wanted to on Codex. And of course, it would have been nice for American Airlines to, turn around and push back up through these levels. But right now, as we can see, guys, the SPY is weak. It's still just very weak. I mean, you had all this buy up, and it's just, it's not maintaining. It's not maintaining above these this key level right here. So I don't know, guys. I mean, the fact of the matter is we've seen a pretty good retracement over the last couple of days on the S&P 500. Here's the daily chart, and really good retracement. But I mean, for all we know, this could be a dead cat bounce. I mean, who knows? Yes, fear in the market is subsiding a little, especially over the coronavirus and all of that. Yes, we had the Fed cuts today, obviously, as I think Jared had pointed out. Um, but I don't know. It seems like, I mean, we just got to be careful with this. We got to be careful with this for the next few days. I mean, it could maintain above the 200-day moving average. It could continue to climb its way up. But right now we're still, in my opinion, we're not out of the weeds yet. We're not out of the weeds yet. And I don't know that. I mean, here's the thing: the last several pushdowns we've had pretty nice solid V-shaped recoveries. We had a V-shaped recovery here. We had a V-shaped recovery here. This not so much, but these were a lot more minor than this one. This was the biggie right here, back of course in 2018, when it finally tanked. Broke through this triple bottom here, but it had a pretty nice V-shaped recovery. I mean, we could get that, but I kind of have a feeling that, just based on a lot of things, I'm not going to get into too many details here. I mean, I'm pretty much going to wrap it up for the day. We may talk about this later. I may include some information in the daily trade recap, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, here's what I do know. I do know that if it breaks these levels here, that's going to be extremely bad news. This is going to be bad news for everybody. So I think as long as we can maintain this, even if it forms a higher low, I think even if it as long as it doesn't break back through here, I think we should be fine. I think it will continue to slowly recover. But right now, it's just it's going to affect the trade, day trading a little bit, which is why we still definitely want to be checking the gap scanners and seeing making sure we know what stocks are making really good moves that day, regardless of what the SPY is doing, like Mito, for example. So anyway, let's see. I think it's too soon. So you're welcome, Jared. I think it's too soon to see a bottom. Too soon to see a bottom? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But I don't know. I mean, it's really difficult to say. I mean, if you think about it, guys, and here's the thing. Again, this is where I'm still kind of a newbie with this stuff. Yes, even though I've been watching the markets for, the last several years, and whatnot, and even though I've studied this stuff and I've educated myself, and I've even studied the history of the stock market, and have learned a lot of very key, valuable lessons from some of the greatest traders over the years, still yet, I can only speak so much to this. I mean, I know my place, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some professional who knows exactly what is happening here in the markets. I don't. And I think, but what I do know is we have had two very historical moments concerning the S&P 500 and concerning the markets in general. We've had two historical moments in the stock market in the last week. And number one, we've never seen a drop like this quick in the markets. And number two, we've never seen a recovery this bit. Now, there is something to say for the fact that, of course, we would have a bounce this heavy because we had a drop this heavy. And really, in proportion, if you look in proportion, or if we were to proportionately look at this kind of a drop compared to where it is, I mean, we've never been, the market's never been this high before. So obviously, the devastation factor is probably relative to some of the stuff that we saw back here in earlier times in past years. And so I don't know, guys, there's a lot to analyze here. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more exhausted I get trying to think about it. Because again, I can't claim to know, I can't claim to really know what's happening here and what the market's going to do. So what I can do, and what I have learned over the years, is that the best thing you can do is you can take it day by day. Mark out key levels, key critical levels, kind of like we did here, on this daily chart. And then even here on, I'll pull this down, even here on the 5-minute chart that I keep up on the SPY. I mean, you can mark out the levels, you can keep an eye on it, and you can continue to trade your strategy on other stocks that are making good moves. So that's a good thing about day traders. I mean, we move to cash at the end of every day. We technically don't have to worry about anything long term here. We just have to really get a good technical read on what's happening currently during the day, and we just capitalize on that intraday volatility. So anyway, Noter says, my thought is driven by the impacts globally to labor availability in the current state of infection. Yeah, but on the other hand, like, and I definitely see where you're coming from on that. On the other hand, though, I feel like the overall sentiment with this coronavirus is really not as bad as it was initially. I feel like a lot of the fears have subsided. Now, could that change in weeks to come? Yes. Because obviously, they talk about the incubation period and how people are getting the virus and not even realizing they have it until 2 weeks later. Okay, so another 2 weeks goes by, and all of a sudden we get a bunch of reported breakouts, whatever. But they know it's not as deadly as they were thinking. Anyway, there's a lot of, we could get into a whole discussion about that, but I think right now we're still it's kind of a waiting game right now. Quickfinger says there are too many variables. Trying to predict future prices is impossible with any degree of accuracy. The best plan is to react to movement and not try to predict. And that's absolutely, I mean, I couldn't agree more. Again, that's why, like I said, we start the day, we look at the, we mark out, areas of support and resistance. We look at the data, and we make the best determination of price movement on stocks that are making heavy moves. And we trade it according to our strategy, and we just try to capitalize on small pieces of intraday volatility. So you really, I mean, we really don't have to know where the SPY is going to be 3 weeks from now. I mean, that's the truth of it. And to me, that's one of the greatest things about being a day trader. So Noter says, good point. Quickfinger says, just trade your strategy that's been working for you. Exactly. So Sauger says, I think the best thing is, I'm taking that you meant the best thing is to react what we see now. Absolutely. Quickfinger says, markets do change and strategies stop working, but while the one you're using is working, it's always best to stick with what works. Yeah, absolutely. That's true too. I always talk about how the market, and this is one thing that I've known from, spending a lot of time watching chart movement and price action and everything and testing strategies. I've spent months and months and months in trading simulators at different times of the years over the years. And I have noticed there are definitely strategies that work sometimes and they don't at other times. Now they do tend to come back around and can start working again, but you have to feel it out. I often say, this is what I was going to say actually. I often tell people that the market is almost like a living, breathing organism. I mean, you really have to treat it as such. Human behavior is only predictable to a certain extent. With different people, with different characters and different personalities and different pasts, and people just react differently. You can't just categorize people into one specific thing and think that, for example, if somebody has an anger issue, well, you can't just classify them as, oh, that person has anger issues. Like, I mean, there could be so many variables and degrees of to why they have anger issues and what sets them off. And there could be things that set them off sometimes in current moments, but at other times maybe it doesn't set them off. And it could be that you could say something to that person that wouldn't really set them off, but if somebody else says that same thing to them, it would set them off. So I mean, we have to treat the market as such. The market it really is. You have to watch how it moves, and you do have to adjust your strategies sometimes. So kind of like VWAP. Let's just use. I won't even claim to be a psychologist here. I'm not. Let's take human behavior out of it. Let's talk about market behavior. So, oftentimes you'll go through periods where it constantly sits on VWAP and pops back up. Okay. Other times I'll notice that, man, like this week, every stock that's been hitting VWAP has been breaking through VWAP and going down. Before it starts making a recovery. So you just have to look for that. You have to look for that, and you have to feel when the market is making those types of changes. And Noter says I may be investing too much effort in keeping up with the overall picture of the market. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I guess it depends what your strategy is. I mean, I think obviously we can't know the future of the market. But for the purposes of long-term investing, especially if you have a dollar cost averaging strategy where you're not like trying to perfectly time the bottom or the top of the market or whatever, I think it can be useful. If you plan on getting into investing in the future and that sort of thing, and even swing trading to a degree. Swing trading where you're holding on to stocks for several days, maybe even a couple of weeks at a time. I think it could be useful, but I think if you're just strictly day trading, it's probably not as useful. But I still think there's always use to it. I think educating yourself, at least having a good understanding of just knowing how stocks move in general and being able to watch how they move on longer time frames, to be able to look at daily charts and even be able to make determinations like this daily chart here, for example, this could be just forming a bull flag, but or it could be it could come up and it could actually be a bull trap and end up tanking, and sometimes that's why I keep some of these stocks up here on watch, like AMD, perfect example. I'm using this daily chart, and today you saw I was even considering about getting in here after the rejection of the 50-day moving average. I think, again, moving averages, you can only put so much stock in, but 50 days seems to be very well respected on the daily chart. Is it always? No. But this would have been a decent trade idea today, obviously, because we rejected off of it and we've moved down. But also, watching this daily chart and looking for key areas of breaking out and that sort of thing. So it's good to look at stuff like that. And it's good to, I think, watch the daily chart on the SPY. Maybe not necessarily for future predictions, but to, again, as a day trader, at least get a good understanding of where it could end up going the next day into the market. And I'm probably just, honestly, I feel like I might be rambling at this point, and I might even be confusing people at this point. So it's like Quick Finger said, there's so many variables with this stuff. There's just so many variables. And it really can, you can talk yourself in circles sometimes. You really can. So, Sagar says, Quick Fingers and Matt, any material y'all suggest to read on price action or any tips of Momo trading? I want to improve on Momo trading. Let's see. Momo trading, momentum trading. I don't know about, when you say materials, I guess I think books. I can recommend some day trading channels out there where people talk about that sort of thing. Let me think about books. There's two books, and Noter has actually heard me. By the way, those of you in the chat, when I say Noter, I'm talking about Notergen's Adventures or Notergen's Adventures. I just don't know how to say his name, so I just call him Noter. He said people just call him Noter. So, but Noter and I were actually talking about a couple weeks ago. Andrew Aziz from Bear Bull Traders. He released a book called How to Day Trade for a Living, and then he released another book called Advanced Techniques in Day Trading. I recommend both of those books, but you may really enjoy considering. There might be some good talk of momentum strategies in the advanced techniques in day trading. I have not been all the way through that book. I went all the way through the first book, and I kind of paused in the middle of that of the advanced techniques in day trading. But I do plan on finishing it. Also, there are some good channels that I recommend. Again, Andrew Aziz, Bear Bull Traders, is a really good place to start. There's another channel out there, actually. There's a guy, his name is Mike, and he's over something called True Trading Group. Now, these guys, they sell courses and everything, but they've got really great content freely available on YouTube, and they go over stuff like that. Of course, there's Ross Cameron, Warrior Trading, and here I'll say this about Ross Cameron: his trading is legit. It's legit. So I don't want it to seem like I'm bashing him when I give you this other statement that I'm about to say, but it's just it can be difficult to trade his strategy. You got to understand, he's been doing this a very, very, very long time. But the strategies that he teaches in general are pretty solid strategies. I mean, if you can get to the point to where you can do it as quickly as he is, but I would just recommend if you embark on that kind of a strategy, I would do it with extremely small share size until you got really good with the hotkeys and until you really felt like the strategy was working well for you. The problem is that you're going to run into is that here's the thing: when he jumps in, this guy jumps in with like 3,000 share lots at a time or 6,000 share lots at a time. So that stock only has to move like 20 cents before you can start piecing out of those trades. You go in trying to trade his strategy with 100 shares, you're going to want more than a 15, 20 cent move before you can start getting out of, piecing out of your shares. So, you got to think about fees and commissions and stuff like that. It's got to be worth it to you. So yes, it is a good strategy. It is obviously a solid strategy. It's a workable strategy, but it is a strategy that, in my opinion, just requires a bigger account size. I think you've got to be extremely careful with it. And this is a strategy that, in my opinion, you would have to practice for several years on end before really mastering the way that a guy like Ross Cameron has. So, but if you just want to educate yourself and it is a workable strategy. I'll give him that. Quick fingers, as an example, the SPY dropped 288. I could have never predicted that, but I bought calls starting everywhere under 300 because that round number needs to always be tested twice. Yeah, great advice. Great advice there. That's the laws of round numbers. Okay, nice. I'm gonna remember that, the laws of round numbers. I do oftentimes talk. If you've been on the live stream before, or if you've watched some of my other videos, you'll hear me talk about whole numbers. There's definitely something to say for the testing of whole numbers or the testing of the whole dollar, and even the breakthrough and confirmation below the whole dollar. So let's see. Can't predict the future, but at least we can figure out some of the rules of the game. Absolutely. All right, and Noter says, yeah, but my strategy is based on charts in the book. I'm just trying to determine a route to help my mind be able to adapt to being short biased when necessary. Yeah, that's right, Noter, because you are long biased. Good point. Quick, just the statistical odds or prior histories, or what you're saying. Yep. Books or videos or YouTube. Okay, Sauger. So hopefully I gave you some good. Yeah, the name of the book was Advanced Techniques in Day Trading. The whole and half dollar field support and resistance. Yeah. Well, again, something that you'll hear me talk about often in my trading strategy is confluence. So there are very powerful points where the market can often meet. If two or more indicators are actually confirming the move that's being made, it has a stronger potential of working out, a greater probability of working out in, according to whatever your trading strategy is for that moment. So, for example, talking about the whole dollar. Well, say we get a break of a whole dollar. Say you're looking to be short biased, for example, on the S&P 500. Now, we didn't get a break of a whole dollar here, so this isn't going to be a good example, but I'm kind of feeding into what Sauger had commented. So if I were to, if the whole dollar were sitting at a critical area of support, okay, and say it was also sitting at VWAP. So we're getting the break of VWAP, we're getting the break of a whole dollar and the critical area of support, and it's breaking through that. I would probably feel pretty good about going short on that. Not saying that it's going to work out, but you've got three things that are essentially meeting, three critical points that are meeting at that trade. Okay. And again, I'm not really using the SPY here because obviously the SPY, again, we weren't at a whole dollar. We're not at the 300 mark, for example. We're not, we didn't, we're not looking at any critical areas of support and resistance there. Well, I guess we are. There is kind of a confluence there because it's breaking through the pre-market highs. It's breaking back through and it's breaking down VWAP. So that could be considered confluence, but bringing the whole dollar into it too, there are times you'll see stuff like that. I'll see it literally. It'll be breaking VWAP. It'll be breaking some other moving average. It'll be, the volume will be picking up. It'll be breaking a previous area of support, and that's where I feel most confident going short. So you want to look for confluence. You want to look for multiple confirmations on multiple fronts. Quickfinger says, let's see, no, they're both, I guess, basically because the market is being traded by humans. Round numbers are important in everyone's mind. It's natural support and resistance. Absolutely. That's where a good dose of trader psychology, a good understanding of trader psychology would be very useful. Okay, Matt, you had the right idea on Mito. Let's look at Mito. Yeah, started flushing. So broke through that trend line, and then it came down right through it, tested VWAP, started flushing. Yeah, I just wish I could have gotten, those shares for shorting. Let me see if it gave me. I'm gonna test right here. See if they, nope, still don't have them. Okay. Okay, they did respond. They're asking if I would want the... Okay, there was a problem with their system. If you receive this located through velocity, would you like us to have the charge taken off your account? Or do you want to still... Okay, so they're either gonna give me my money back or they're gonna let me short. Let me see. So I had it on VIR. VIR is tested again off of VWAP, but the S&P 500, I don't know if that would have any bearing effect on this. This is very lightly traded today. I don't know. I think I'll just take my money back on the locates for this stock. I think I'm going to end it here, guys. I'm down basically, or I'm up 233, I think, after fees and commissions. I did add liquidity, so that'll be credited. And I think fees, commissions, I borrowed some, I located a few on Codex and INO. So I'm probably going to end the day right around 200, I imagine. Right around $200, maybe a little less. So nothing exciting today, guys. Quickfinger says, my favorite book is Rule the Freaking Markets by Michael Parnas. He takes 33,000 to 7 mil in 15 months. It's a wild ride, but it's purely for entertainment. Clearly he did it, but likely you can't use much out of the book. Purely a good read for entertainment. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know about that. I'm going to look that up too. Rule the Freaking Markets. I like that. Yeah, I'll give that a... I might give that a read. Let's see here. So, all right. So I'm going to take VIR off. I'm just going to remove it all together. So let me go back here to MITO. for me, this is one of those things where I might even look for another retest of all this. So yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm obviously going to be ending the live stream here in a couple minutes, but what I'll do is I'll ask for the locates back on VIR, but I'll keep the 200 or I guess it was 300 on MITO, and I may come back in here later and see if there's an opportunity to short. Let's see what 300 shares would cost. Okay, not much. So let me just look at this. I'll tell you what my trade idea is going to be. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. It still has not broken down through past the pre-market highs. So it didn't completely resolve where I thought it would. But I'll keep the locates on there. Let me see. So okay, waive the charges for VIR, but keep the okay, waive the charges for VIR, but I'll keep the 300 shares to short MITO. Yeah. So Mino might be a continuation tomorrow if it holds. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually going to look for it to hold. So I'm keeping the 300 shares short. I don't know if I'm going to use it. I really don't know if I'm going to use it, but I just want to have them available just in case I see something later in the day that where they might come in handy. So otherwise, basically, guys, I'm probably ending the day a little under $200, maybe 180, 190. But we live to trade another day, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be a little bit more exciting. I am going to be keeping a watch on the S&P 500. We can see it's had a pretty massive rejection, back down. Even though with the news on the Fed cuts, I mean it shot up. Bounced right off that 200-day on the 5-minute, which I'm not really paying too much attention to, but it got shot up, came up through all these levels, but then just got slammed back down. So I don't know. That to me is showing a little bit of weakness. So that might be cause for maybe taking some shorting positions on like Tesla or even JD, AMD, TVIX might be proving to be another good long today. So I don't know. I'll watch this stuff on the sidelines, but for now I'm pretty sure I'm done. I will post a recap video later so you guys can check that out on the channel. And anyway, thank you guys once again for everyone who joined in. Quick Fingers, thank you so much for coming this morning. And like I said, was awesome to have you in the chat. And I do appreciate all of your education and knowledge. And feel free to come back anytime. We'd love to have you. So All right, guys, take care.